Alright, so I just watched the video about the Bissell Proheat 2X 9400. This is and in that one it talked about the heater, which is what clogs on these things and makes the sprayer not work, being located up here in the housing. And this one, which is the 5321C, so it's a Bissell Proheat 2X 9400 05231C. It is not here, and it's not here. It's actually, as you can see, right there, where what I've managed to do is rip the entire thing apart. I've got a piece over there, a bunch of screws over here, the top there. But what you can see here is, right here is your heater core. And I had to pull the two hoses off of it, unscrew the top here, right there, which loosens that bracket up. And then you've got this other bracket screwed on there. Just so keep track of your wires. So you've got the one that comes here, wraps around, hooks into this right here, and then over there, and then this one just goes straight off into the thing there. These two pipes came off. I pulled it out, used some vinegar, and scrubbed the heck out of the inside. The 6 screws that are on the bottom of this thing, so this whole thing has to come out. The 6 or 7 screws that are on the bottom of it are actually kind of a pain in the butt to get out. You actually have to work them a little bit to get them to come out. Now what I'm going to do is kind of walk you backwards on how to get this thing apart, and I'm going to hope like heck I can get it back together when I go the other direction. One of the big showstoppers, and one of the first things to come off, was this hose right here. I've got the clamp right here for it. This hose actually goes to the suction thingy that goes on the bottom of the water reservoir. So right there's the water reservoir bottom, and there's the thing that hose there goes on to. What I did when I took the top part apart, you'll see I've got a bunch of the hoses numbered, and we will try and get them back together. But the hose had to come off of here and off of here, that one and that one, to get the top to come off, as well as there was another one. So we had this thing that sits here, and you'll see this as we go to put it back together. But there's two hoses that go to that had to come off, and I will show you how those go together as I put it back together. So first we're going to start off down here. I'm going to get some of this back together, get this screwed down, and then start working on the hoses up here. Okay, so now you'll see I already connected that hose that runs underneath here into that, and then I put my 2 screws back in that go on either side of there. So now the deck, the bottom just pulled back up to the top of the deck a little bit. Now over here, my next step is I made sure my wires were clear there. There's a rubber gasket that goes around here that fits inside of this, and then I put that screw in. So now this is firmly secured. Now I'm just going to connect the hoses that I numbered before. You'll see hose number 1, which will go on the top, and then hose number 2 that I labeled, that will go on the bottom. So you'll see those two, and then these 2 hoses come back in to up in here. So we'll show that again in a second. So again, I numbered my hoses 1 and 2, and then I numbered these 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that I could know which way they all went back in. So now I'm going to try and get all these back in and continue to screw the deck back together. There's these 2 screws here, which I believe, if I remember correctly, are these 2 screws in this thing, which is the housing that sits on top of this. And then you have a screw hole there and a screw hole there that pull the deck up the rest of the way. So hopefully, if I did it right, I didn't crimp any hoses. I got all the wires hooked back together right, and I got the hoses back on right, and we'll see if it works. So I'll go ahead and reconnect this and show you one more time, and then we'll try it out. There we go. Alright, so one little thing I wanted to point out. See these little clampy thingies? There's one on each one of these hoses. You can't see these 2 because someone, in their infinite wisdom at Bissell, decided to put them on the reverse side, which is completely impossible to get to. So you have to have a needle nose plier. But anyways, something to think about is invariably when you take these off, you're going to have surfactant in these lines. You're going to have soap in them. So you're going to take them off. The soap's going to get on your fingers and on the tubes, and these things are going to go straight down into that hole. So when you unclamp these things, hold on to them snugly. As you unclamp them, slide them down a little bit, and then pull the hose so that you don't lose those down under here, because then they become a pain in the butt to catch. But now you'll see I've got these hoses here onto the suction thing that goes onto the water reservoir. Those two hoses are on there, and then I've got my 4 hoses here, which I had disconnected. I believe hose 2 and 4. Yeah, 2 and 4 had come off, so I could lift the bottom up. So again, word to the wise: number these 1, 2, and then I went 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I put a line on these horizontal line on these hoses too, so I could differentiate them from these, just in case, like when I went to go do this, like they were all the same length. So now we're a step closer. As you can see, we've now got the deck back on with this thing connected to the hose underneath, which runs up into here. And we got these 2 hoses back on, and we've got these 2 hoses and this stack back on. So now I'm going to screw it back together, this part of it back together, and put the housing back here. And we are going to fire this up. And the other part is this, and also just screws right here. It kind of latches up underneath it here on either side. This piece does, and then the screw just goes in there. But I'm going to put the rest of it back together, and then we're going to give it a shot and see if it works. Okay? Alright. So after what seems like a ridiculously long time, probably about 4 hours between the time it took me to find the solution, then figure out how to make the solution work for mine, I got it working. Now, to be fair and honest, what I did, because my boys are asleep at 2 a.m. in the morning, I fired it up real quickly, pulled the trigger on the attachment, and it sprayed, which it was not doing before. I did not check to make sure the heater works, but at this point I think I might actually follow some of the suggestions of people online and not use the heater because of calcification. Either that, I also pour distilled water in the damn thing so it doesn't gum up again. Just for clarity's sake, you can see that the model number and such on this, it's a Bissell 940, or excuse me, a Bissell 9400 05321C 12 amp Proheat 2X carpet cleaner. Cuss factor on this one, while this video is safe for all children and animals, the cuss factor was probably about a 4 out of 10. It was a pretty tough thing to fix. So it's very doable. Set aside probably 2 hours to do it. And between this video and the one that's out there already, you should be able to make it work. Best of luck to you, and if you have any questions, post a video reply and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks.